Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm happy to see you again. Happy New Year, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that took me a long time to understand, and it's the concept of the nice guy. And now you might be thinking that, the nice guy is just that, somebody that's nice. But unfortunately, that is not the case. There's a lot of things that are involved in this concept of a person being a nice guy, as I'm saying. There are actually a lot of women that do understand this concept. And I never really had fully understood this before because I was a nice guy as well. But there's kind of differing levels of niceness in that concept. But I think the first time that I really noticed it in somebody else was a couple years ago. I was working at a computer place, and I went to lunch with a coworker of mine, and it was a sandwich shop. So we got our sandwiches, and we were sitting down to eat, and my coworker noticed that there weren't any napkins around. And I said, "Oh, we can just ask for them, and everything will be fine." But he didn't want to ask for the napkins. And I thought, man, this is strange. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here with mayonnaise on my lips because I didn't want to ask for a napkin. And at this point, I had been doing some work with assertiveness. So I decided, hey, just because my coworker doesn't want to get napkins doesn't mean that I can't. So I just stood up, went over to the counter and asked the guy, hey, can I get some napkins, please? Dude pulled them out from underneath the counter and handed them to me. And then, we just finished our lunch and that was it. But I felt so odd. I'm like, how do you not ask someone at a restaurant for napkins? It's something so simple. I didn't understand that he, was a nice guy. And so he didn't want to bother anybody, even though, he needed napkins. And I didn't think about it much afterwards. So then another day, I had brought my lunch in, and I was bringing in my lunch because, it's expensive to keep going out for lunch. So he came over to me and asked if I wanted to go out to lunch with him. And I said, it's okay. I have brought my own lunch. I can't spend all that money constantly going out to lunch. And he said, oh, no, I can pay for it. And that made it really awkward that made me feel like I would owe him for the lunch, because I'm like a guy buying lunch for another person. And I felt like I was taking advantage of him. So I said, no, it's fine. We can always hang out if you want, but, you don't need to buy me lunch. And so that was that. And so he kind of behaved in this manner as well. And, after that, I started noticing other people at different places that acted in the same way. Not everybody acts in the same way, obviously, but you can always find that one person that is the nice guy. And what I mean by the nice guy is basically it's somebody who is constantly seeking validation from others, and they feel that by being as nice as possible, they're going to get that validation, which unfortunately is completely the opposite. Because when people feel that you're being too nice to them, they get that feeling that you want something from them. They're like, oh, this person's being too nice. What do they want from me? And they do want something out of you. They want your validation. And unfortunately, they don't understand this concept. I didn't understand this concept as well. I used to think that as well. Like, oh, I'll just be nice to everybody, and then they'll be nice to me. It doesn't work that way. What ends up happening is other people distrust you, or you end up bringing in somebody that understands, that sees who you are in that manner, and sees somebody that they can exploit. Because the nice guy, it's not just about being nice; it's about being worried about what other people think of you, and so they're trying to be as nice as possible because they're worried that if they do something that goes against the grain, or creates waves, or even saying no, they feel that the other person will dislike them and will move away from them, which is completely the opposite. And that's what's kind of hard with talking with nice people or nice guys in this way. And I had to break that mentality as well. My niceness wasn't as bad as my coworkers, for example, but it was still there. Like, I was still letting people take advantage of me. I was still letting people walk all over me. Like I said, being a nice guy isn't just about being nice. It's about seeking validation from others by being nice, either by giving too many gifts or showing too much appreciation for somebody. And it's really sad because these nice guys don't realize what they're doing. They were taught that this is how they're supposed to behave. You know, be as nice as possible, be completely selfless, and, you know, people will like you. And it's just not the case, because that's just not the way life works. Just because you act a certain way doesn't mean that other people are going to act in the way that you want them to. It doesn't work that way. So other signs of a nice guy, again, there are people that avoid conflict at all costs. And the problem with being the nice guy is, again, it's not authentic. So they'll always say yes to you. They want to say what you want to hear. So when you're around somebody like that, sure, they're always saying what you want to hear, but then you don't understand, like, well, are they just saying what I want to hear? What is it that they're truly after, or what is it that they truly mean? You can't get a proper explanation from these people because they're always trying to be nice to everybody, and it just doesn't work. And I feel really bad because a lot of these people do end up getting taken advantage of, either by their family members, by friends, or by romantic interests, or even at work. They get taken advantage of. You know, these are the guys that, you know, you tell them, hey, you know, do you want to take an extra shift? And they're like, oh, sure, yeah, I'll do it for free. Like, they just want to feel that they fit in and accepted, and that they're accepted so much that they will do anything to get that feeling. And it's really sad because, again, this does not work. It just comes off as disingenuous. And a lot of these folks, they're not trying to be disingenuous. This is just how they were raised to be, or, you know, or they were taught differently. They just think that this is how they're supposed to be. And I've oftentimes tried to approach people that are like this. Some of them know, but they can't seem to figure out how to get out of that cycle. And they'll talk with therapists about it too, which is good, you know. As long as they're getting therapy, that's great. Or they'll take it as offense. They'll think, oh my God, nobody likes nice people. Like, why can't, like, I have to be a jerk to other people to get them to like me? And no, that is the complete opposite of what being a nice guy is. And that's what people think. This is what nice people think as well. They think that they have to be a jerk in order to get people to like them as well. And that's just not how it works. You have to be yourself. And that means that you're going to get into arguments with people sometimes. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to be assertive and ask for what you want and what your expectations are. It doesn't mean that they're always going to, you know, people are going to agree with you, but you have to be able to communicate those things, or else you're going to be taken advantage of, you know? And if somebody doesn't like you, like, I used to always freak out when people didn't like me. Now I'm like, yeah, it's fine. All right, you don't like me, I don't like you either then. It is what it is. You know, it's accepting that not everyone's going to like you and that you're not going to like everybody. But, and again, this is kind of the sad reality of the nice guy, is that they will be taken advantage of because, again, they feel that by being subservient to others, that is going to get people to like them. And it doesn't work that way. And now, you might hear me saying a lot, you know, nice guy, like, well, you know, that sounds like me, you know, if you're a woman. And part of the reason that nice guys, you know, and you'll hear the phrase, nice guys finish last, or you know, girls don't like a nice guy, it's because our society has basically told men that they have to be dominant in everything, and that they have to be aggressive, and that they can't have feelings, they can't be kind, this and that. It's part of the culture. So these nice guys, yeah, they're just looked down upon. You know, they're you'll hear the phrase beta. It's just stupid. That's not how people are. But it's really sad. And the reason you don't hear the phrase like nice gals or nice girls is because society expects women to be subservient, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with any of these categories that society kind of tries to put on everybody. But society expects women to be subservient. And this is why you don't hear about the nice girl. And unfortunately, because of this, a lot of women end up getting into toxic relationships where there's a guy that's dominant and thinks that they can do whatever they want to them. And it's not fair. It's really bad. It hurts a lot of people. And that doesn't mean that and I don't blame the nice guy or nice gal for that. If nobody should be abusing anybody, that is still on the toxic individual that is hurting these people. Even if the nice person is the way they are, that doesn't mean that they should be taken advantage of. Whether it's a man or a woman, they should not be taken advantage of. And like I said, it's hard to get out of that cycle of being overly nice. Another symptom also is constantly apologizing for things, saying, I'm sorry. It almost feels like when you're a nice guy or nice gal that you always feel like you are, you're taking up people's time. Like you don't deserve to be around others. Like if you talk to people, they're like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. Like, no. You cannot apologize for just existing. It's not fair. They also have a lot of low self-esteem, and they'll be very self-deprecating, which is really sad. Whenever I hear someone self-deprecating, I really try to boost their ego, or at least tell them like, hey, you don't need to talk that way around me. I don't want to know about it. You don't need to talk about your faults to people. But obviously it's not like I'm just going to say that. They're like, okay, I don't have to do it anymore. It's a pattern that they've learned over years, unfortunately. It took me a while to figure it out and to kind of break that cycle that, I don't have to apologize for existing, and that I can just be myself around people, and I don't have to give others things to make them like me, or just be super nice to people. You can still be a nice person. You just don't have to be over the top of it. Another thing with nice people as well, because they tend to push people away with their uber kindness, they end up becoming very possessive of the people that do show that they care about them, and that ends up pushing people away. It's too needy. People don't want that. They think like, oh, again, if I just put all my love and adoration to this one person and idolize them, they're going to like me back the way I do, and that's just not how it works. People don't like that. Again, either you're going to push someone away, or you're going to attract someone that's toxic, and that's not good for anybody. But hopefully there is some hope. If you're watching this video, you're probably a nice guy or nice gal, and you're trying to figure out like what it is that you should do. Try to get out of these cycles. The best thing, and I know that it's not easy, and this is probably another video, it's just to have confidence in yourself and to believe that you do matter and that you're not bothering other people. Obviously, if you're at work and people are working and you're poking them or pushing them around, yeah, that's bothering them. But you shouldn't have to apologize just because you want to talk to somebody. Like, that shows the other person that you don't matter. And because you have that thought in your head that you don't matter and that your opinions don't matter and that you're lesser than everybody, other people will treat you that way. And it's not fair. Because I'm sure a lot of nice guys and nice gals out there are good people. They just don't know any better. So hopefully this has been enlightening for you. And if you like the video, please hit a like and hit subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.